Welcome to another JournalNet.com high school football video, Coach's Clipboard Edition. I'm Joe Serrera, joined once again this week by Reagan Raiders head coach Josh McGee. Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Your Raiders are 8-1 heading into the playoffs. 8-2. The only two losses to the only unbeaten teams in 4A West, Grimsley and East Forsyth, riding a 6-game winning streak. Do you feel like this team kind of has momentum now?
Yeah, I think we've played a really tough schedule, and when you look back on it, again, it was by design. Some things we've been talking about for a few years, and trying to challenge ourselves in those three non-conference games. And I think if you look at the CPC as a whole, and you look at overall records, it may not be what people are used to seeing from an overall record, but they're still really good football teams that are well coached and that have prepared us for these moments. And we are riding a 6-game win streak, which is a goal we had a long time ago when we lost to East, and that was kind of our ultimate team goal, was to make a run and finish that thing out the way we thought it should be, and hopefully give us a shot moving forward.
You've talked this season about how this Reagan team has learned to handle adversity. That's got to be even more important in the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think a big word for us this whole year has been composure. There's been times when we lost it, myself including, and I think we've all learned, how to handle ourselves in these kind of crunch moments and adverse situations, and hopefully going through those situations and those moments this year will prepare us for what lies ahead. And obviously, when you start off with a Charlotte Catholic, you're going to face some adversity. So, the composure piece is going to be big this week.
You get to the playoffs after a 10-game regular season schedule. Is there much that you can change at this point in the season, or is it kind of you are who you are? Maybe you obviously tweak some things based on the opponent and their schemes, but where is your team at this point?
Yeah, I think you are who you are. We know exactly what we do well. We know what our weaknesses are. We try to build on the strengths and minimize those weaknesses. And but throughout the last 10 weeks, I think we have a clear picture of who we are as a team and kind of what makes us go. And I think with every opponent, you're going to find maybe a new little gadget or something that may give you a slight advantage in a certain situation. But for the most part, it's you run a system, you believe in your system, you believe in your players, right. And you have to go execute a play.
Yeah, and the better that they know that system and the more comfortable with it, the faster they can play, obviously. So most teams are banged up, by this point in the season. You play 10 hard football games, you're going to have some injuries. How's the health of this Reagan team right now?
Yeah, we're I think as healthy as we can be. We lost a really good running back in Kinston Crater 5 weeks ago to a season-ending injury, and lost a defensive lineman in Cooper Jackson in the West Forsyth game to a broken arm. But from a health standpoint, right now going into week 11, we're as good as we can be. I think everybody's battling some colds and flus and all kinds of
seasonal flus going around. I've heard that from multiple coaches today, and I've seen it in our work office. Yeah,
and again, those are things you can't control. So you do the best you can with who's feeling good, and we've been fortunate all year, minus those few.
You mentioned your opponent Friday night, Charlotte Catholic, a team like yours that's 8-2. Both of their losses by 1 point. That's a tough draw, isn't it? I mean, it seems like you guys deserved a little better than that.
Yeah, you know what? You don't deserve anything. That's you have to go earn everything. And whether you play a Charlotte Catholic in week 1 or a week 3 or 4, you're going to have to beat really good teams each and every week. If you want to try to make a run. And it is a tough draw. It's 2 years in a row that we've kind of been in this same situation. Last year I think we were actually 7-3, but we were co-conference champs, but we're the 2 seed from the league. Pulled Porter Ridge in the same 16-17 a bracket, with the winner going to 1, which at that last year it was Grimsley again. And so find ourselves in the same boat, 16-17. But again, tough draw, really good football team, and I think the challenge is the unconventional offense. That's on top of really good players that are well coached, they're extremely disciplined,
Yeah.
They're not going to beat themselves. They minimize your possessions, but the unconventional offense is definitely, I think, what gives them an edge.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, one of the other things that jumped out about me with them is taking care of the football. They only have 2 turnovers this season.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't get through a game without 2 turnovers. Tell me a little bit about what the Cougars do offensively with Coach Brodowitz and his guys down there.
Yeah, so kind of different, I think, in this year's group than in the past is that they have a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I know he's committed to West Virginia now. Yeah.
I think he was a long-time Charlotte commit who
Right.
flipped it to West
Because
Virginia.
the coaching change, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who can really, spin the football, and, tight end that's committed to Notre Dame in the 24 class, and then just a handful of other just solid receivers. And so they have the ability to spread you out, and they'll jump into some traditional spread formations and throw it around a little bit. And that's something that you haven't seen from those guys. But at the end of the day, they're always going to stay true to who they are. They want to get, we call it getting a fight in the phone booth. They want to pack as many guys in there as possible, multiple tight ends and wings and power backs. And at the end of the day, it's smash mouth football. They're coming right downhill at you, and you have to be able to play physical in order to be successful. So it's, I think that's what makes them go. But this year, on top of that style, the ability to throw it down the field creates a few more challenges.
I hear you. Well, it's going to be a great football game. The Winston-Salem Journal's John Dell's going to be out there to cover it. We'll have some photos as well. We wish you luck Friday night at home, hopefully in the next round of the playoffs and going forward.
Great. Thank you, Joe.